So uncle, once I get this education loan, I'll be able to get into my dream MBA college and then my life will be set.
Of course, beta, don't worry about it. You'll be CEO in no time.
Thank you. Okay, just crack this exam, get good grades, and then 25 lakh package, easy. Easy. Pens down, everyone. All the best for your placements. Once I ace this interview, my ROI begins. 25 lakh package. I'm coming for you. So, we're offering you 26,000 rupees a month. And there's free coffee. You're welcome. This was not a fictional story. This was the story of Ritika, who took an 18 lakh loan just to get a 26,000 a month job. And this is why everyone says MBA is dead. But I know someone personally, Sahil, who graduated from IIM Bangalore and got a 40 lakh plus package at an MBA firm. Same MBA tag, but a completely different story. That got me thinking, is MBA really dead? So I dug deep, spoke to grads, looked at the placement reports, and what I found might completely change how you view an MBA degree. And before we start, this video is powered by Grow, but more on that later. Let's address the elephant in the room. MBA is dead in 2025 and beyond. Well, the answer is not so simple and not so black and white. I mean, check this out. In 2025, IIM Calcutta placed all 456 students. 196 companies made 538 full-time offers, and many students even had multiple job offers to choose from across consulting, finance, product, and marketing. IIM Ahmedabad had a similar outcome in 2025. Big corporations like BCG, HUL, Goldman Sachs hired graduates from the campus. So translation, the top 1% are still living the LinkedIn dream. And the salaries are some of the highest that we've ever seen. IIM Mumbai just nailed 100% placements with Microsoft, offering 54 lakhs per annum as the top package. IIM Lucknow just set a new record of rupees 75 lakhs per annum in 2025. The kind of names that makes your relatives flex your name on their WhatsApp groups. Deloitte says MBA salaries are jumping at 8.3% across B schools with a median salary of 26 lakhs per annum. Now this clearly shows that a good MBA school can actually get you a good package. Now I know you will say, Shreya, what about the age-old curriculum? It won't help us in the next 5 years. And that's where you're wrong. Some of these schools are actually questioning their entire approach to education. So instead of updating the syllabus every 3 to 5 years, IIMs are now updating their syllabus constantly, adding AI, Gen AI, ESG, and crisis management into their core MBA. So in fact, there is something more advanced than just Excel macros in their syllabus. IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Indore, and Raipur are teaching students how to use tools like TensorFlow and Scikit-learn, how to launch tokens and navigate the metaverse, and how to apply AI in real business decisions. Meanwhile, new coming of age schools are building curriculums around hands-on business exposure like live projects, real money, and industry-led teaching, and not just classroom theory. Take Masters Union, for instance. In 2025, their students beat IIM and ISB students at case study competitions. And in 2024, one of their teams placed second globally at Harvard case study competition ahead of MIT Sloan and UC Berkeley. Because these students know how to solve real business problems under real pressure. So does this mean that MBA is back in trend? Well, what we talked about is just the top 5% of business school. Let's also talk about the remaining 95%. Recent reports show that in 2024, 50% of MBA graduates across India are jobless. That's 1 out of every 2 MBA students who graduated without a single job offer. So your chances of getting hired are as good as your chances of getting a heads when you flip a coin. Maybe it's you, maybe it's your friend, but either one of you is struggling to get a good job. But if you only read the college brochures and the news articles, some of these business schools are reporting 100% placements. And some of these brochures have more fiction than a Chetan Bhagat novel. At IMT Ghaziabad, the 2025 batch had an interim placement rate of 90%. The average CTZ was 16.25 lakh, with the top 100 students averaging 24 lakhs. PU's UIAMS sees the highest package of rupees 16.42 lakhs per annum. Other schools like GIM Goa, KJ Somaiya, TAPMI, and 4 Delhi consistently fall in the 12 to 14 lakh range. Well, how is that possible if 50% of the graduates are unemployed? Well, that's where the web of lies begin. The only real business case study is how these colleges market these fake placements. You see, these colleges count every job offer regardless of the quality or the salary. So you could get a 6 lakh marketing job or a 5.5 lakh sales job, and both of those will be counted as job offers even if you're earning less than you did before the MBA. So congratulations, you just spent 2 years and 20 lakhs to now have the same job you had before, but now with a blazer. 6 lakhs per annum is barely 40,000 rupees in hand, and that's the bare minimum amount you need to survive even a tier 2 city. So yes, 95% placement as a statistic sounds amazing, unless you realize what they're actually earning. In 2024, over 35% of Tier 2 and Tier 3 MBA graduates were still unemployed or underemployed 6 months after graduating based on AICTE and NIRF data. So the real question is not whether or not you'll get the job, but instead whether or not you'll earn enough to recover from the financial burden that the degree just gave you. Another common trick that these colleges use is that they ask the students who are not doing so well in the interviews to opt out of placements. So technically, everyone who applied for the placements did get a placement. No one is counting the students who were asked to opt out. The college authorities say that they are still helping these students get a job unofficially, but if that was true, what was the need to ask them to drop out of the placements in the first place? This is why a lot of people online have the opinion that MBA is just not worth it anymore because of these practices happening in lower tier colleges. And most people don't even think about these things before they sign the loan agreement. So does an MBA make sense in 2026? Let's do the math. Let's say you want to do your MBA from a decent private college like NMIMS or IMT Ghaziabad. This is what it actually costs you. The fees, hostel and living expenses add up to roughly 24 lakhs over 2 years. But since most people take education loan, after interest kicks in, you end up paying roughly 30 to 32 lakhs. That works out to be about 40,000 to 45,000 per month for the next 7 years. So you are pretty much in a long-term relationship with your EMI. Now these colleges will tell you that their average salary is about 15 to 17 lakhs. Sound great, right? But here's what they don't tell you. Take out the top 5 to 10 students that actually got placed for 30 to 40 lakhs per annum, and the average drops fast. For most students, the real number is closer to 7 to 8 lakhs per annum. Now let's say you got an 8 lakh job. After taxes, you take home about 55,000 per month. Now subtract your loan EMI of 40,000, you're left with 15,000 to cover rent, food, transportation, and everything else in a metro city. Don't even think about dating. And remember, this assumes that you got an 8 lakh per annum salary. Most people don't. And this is what exactly happened to Ritika. She borrowed 18 lakhs expecting a high-paying job. Instead, she got 26,000 per month at a startup. Her loan payment is 31,000 monthly. She's earning less than what she actually owes. And the financial pressure is just the start. There are way bigger underlying problems that even affect those who walk away with a decent job. Sometimes the teaching itself is outdated. You're not taught how to build a business. You're only taught how to talk about a business. Endless case studies about companies that don't even exist anymore. Theoretical concepts that sound impressive but don't work in practice. You become great at presenting ideas but terrible at executing them. And the market has already moved on. Employers care way less about what degree you hold and way more about what you can actually do. Can you solve problems? Can you take ownership? Can you build something useful without being told what to do? And even the business leaders are calling it out now. Anupam Mittal, founder of Shaadi.com and Shark Tank investor, put it bluntly when he said, you don't need fancy degrees. You need two things, the ability to build and the ability to sell. A World Economic Forum report found that 30% of Indian employers are moving away from degree requirements and focusing on skills instead. In tech and finance, over 80% of companies already follow a skills-first hiring model. And that's the world you're graduating into, a world where skills matter more than ever. And a traditional MBA, especially from a college that didn't prepare you enough, might leave you with a title but no edge. And this brings me to something most people don't realize. There isn't one MBA market. There are two separate universes that happen to use the same MBA title. Let me explain MBA 1 first. This roughly includes 10 to 15 colleges in India, including IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, Lucknow, Indore, ISB, FMS, XLRI, Ex-Bain, MDI, IIFT, and a few others. Getting into these places is brutal. You need a 99 plus percentile in CAT, and even then, most people don't make it. You need brains, strategy, and at least one God listening to your prayers. These schools keep their batches small, roughly 400 to 500 students each. They can afford to be picky because everyone wants in. The faculty is just not academics. They've actually worked in finance, consulting, and startups. The alumni network is actually strong because people from these colleges make to really good positions, and once you graduate you get access to this network. It's like being on LinkedIn but on steroids. Now let's talk about MBA 2. That includes the remaining 2,000 plus MBA programs in India. The colleges will take almost anyone who can pay the fee, and the professors have often never worked outside of academia. The salary gap between these two MBAs is huge. MBA 1 graduates usually start at 15 to 40 lakhs per annum, whereas MBA 2 graduates typically start between 3 to 8 lakhs per annum. An MBA 1 graduate might join McKinsey as a consultant and then chief of staff at a startup, and then eventually start their own company. An MBA 2 graduate, however, might join a mid-sized company at a junior role and then over the years climb the corporate ladder. This is exactly why we see such contradictory stories coming around MBA. Most positive outcomes come from MBA 1 graduates, and most negative outcomes are often observed by MBA 2 graduates. Both are true, both are valid, but both of them are describing very different and unique experiences. Now that you understand the two worlds, let's talk about who should actually pursue an MBA and who should stay away. Do an MBA if you can realistically get into a tier 1 college. This means you're confident about scoring 99 plus percentile in CAT and have a clear career goal that actually requires an MBA, like consulting, investment banking, or corporate strategy. If you want to join a firm like McKinsey or Goldman Sachs, an MBA from a tier 1 college is almost essential. But remember, this isn't a passive degree. You need to hustle, build networks, join clubs, and create your own opportunities. And now the truth bomb. You shouldn't do an MBA just because you're looking for a way out from a job that you hate. If you're hoping the degree alone will open doors, you will be disappointed, especially if you're going to a tier 2 or a tier 3 college. The cost won't justify the outcome, the network won't build itself, and the job market won't wait for you to catch up. So what are the choices if you don't make it to a top MBA school or don't want the debt that comes with the title? You see, there are smarter ways to get similar outcomes. Join a startup or a fast-paced company. You learn by doing, wear multiple hats, and build real skills on the ground. Start something on the side, maybe a project, a business, a freelance hustle. You will learn more in 6 months of execution than 2 years of PowerPoint. Or create your own custom MBA path. Programs like AltMBA or Coursera paired with real work give you flexibility, low cost, and high agency. Even a study shows that 99% of Indian employers now value Gen AI micro-credentials more than the traditional experience. The truth is, in today's day and age, you don't need a traditional MBA to succeed. Whichever route you take, what really matters is how you take it. And whatever path you choose, MBA or alternative routes, make sure you're building wealth along the way. Grow helps millions of Indians invest smartly. So whether you're saving up for your education, paying off loans, or just planning for your future, Grow's user-friendly platforms makes investment accessible to everyone. Check out the description for more details. And this brings us back to Ritika and Sahil. Ritika did what most people do. She got excited about the marketing hype and thought MBA means better jobs. She didn't really know what kind of job she wanted, just something better. She didn't sit down, do some maths, and figure out if taking a loan actually made sense. And once she got into the college, she did all her assignments, went to all the classes, and magically hoped that things would work out during the placements. But Sahil was more deliberate about it. He knew he wanted to get into consulting, so he spent months researching about colleges that could actually place him into those firms. And once he got in, he didn't just chase grades. He networked with people who were already in the firms he wanted to get into. He joined every relevant club, and he treated his MBA like a full-time job. You see, Ritika hoped that MBA would solve all her problems, whereas Sahil used his MBA as a stepping stone to where he already knew he wanted to go. So no, MBA is not dead, but the blind faith in an MBA, that should be. The days of get an MBA and things will work out are over. But if you go in with purpose, clarity, and the right motive, an MBA can turn out to be the smartest career move of your life. Hi, I'm Shreya, and I help you make smarter financial and career decisions. If this breakdown was helpful, consider subscribing to the channel.